Hi, I found this video a long time ago and it helped me to help my students memorize the unit circle rather easily, so I'm going to show it to you. Like I said, I don't have the link because I lost it, but I tried to find it, but it wasn't there. So unit circle means a radius of 1. That's all it means, okay? Make sure every time you say unit circle, the radius is 1. And here's the way to memorize it. Since the circumference is equal to 2 pi r and the radius is 1 right over there, 2 pi times 1 is just 2 pi. So here, from 0 degrees, halfway that is going to be pi right over there. Half of that is pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, and 4 pi over 2, which is just 2 pi. 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180, 270 degrees, and of course 360 degrees is also 2 pi, or 0 radians as well. Okay. I'm going to go over, since this whole length is pi over 2, half of that is going to be pi over 4. Pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, which is just pi over 2. 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, which is just pi. 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, which is just 3 pi over 2. 7 pi over 4, and then 8 pi over 4, which is just 2 pi. Let's do the radians. This is going to be pi over 2 divided by 3. That's going to be pi over 6. This will be 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, which is just pi over 2, 4 pi over 6, which is just 2 pi over 3. You got to reduce these at the end, okay? If you don't, your teacher's going to mark them off. 5 pi over 6, 6 pi over 6, which is just pi, 7 pi over 6, 8 pi over 6, 9 pi over 6, 10 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6, and 12 pi over 6, which is just 2 pi. And degrees, it's going to be 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210. It's a multiple of 30. 240, 270, 300, and 330 degrees. Of course, the 30 is 360. That's 45. 2 times 45 is 90. 3 times 45 is 135, 180, 225, 270, and 315, and 360. This is where the easy part comes in from now on, okay? And everything's going to be over 2. The first coordinate as well as the second coordinate is always going to be over 2. Everything's going to be over 2 of all these. So remember, this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is going to be quadrant 4. This right here, it starts off at 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and it goes backwards now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't forget, it's negative on the x-coordinate, right? 3, 2, 1, 0 is negative as well. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, back to 4. And here we start off with 0 over 2, 1 over 2, 2 over 2, 3 over 2, 4 over 2. It's going to be still positive. 3 over 2, 2 over 2, 1 over 2, and 0 over 2. That's in the y direction, it's going to be negative 1 over 2, negative 2 over 2, negative 3 over 2, negative 4 over 2, and this is going to be negative 3 over 2, negative 2 over 2, negative 1 over 2. And the only thing that you have to do now, and here's the easy part, okay? Everything is in the square root. Square root of 2 over 2, square root of 1, square root of 3, square root of 0, square root of 4, square root of 1, square root of 3, square root of 2, square root of 2, square root of 3, square root of 1, square root of 4, square root of 0, square root of 3, square root of 1, square root of 3, square root of 2, square root of 1, square root of 3, Just put a square root. That's all you have to do. And you do have to simplify a little bit on these. What is square root of 4 over 2? Well, that's easy. Square root of 4 is 2 over 2, which is just 1. So this is 1. And square root of 0 is just 0 over 2, which is 0. There's your coordinate right there. Square root of 3 over 2. Square root of 1 is just 1/2. Square root of 2 over 2. Square root of 2 over 2. Can't do anything about that. You could simplify this. That's square root of 1 over 2, which is just 1 over 2. Square root of 0 over 2. Square root of 0 is 0. Over 2 is going to be 0. And square root of 4 is going to be 2 over 2, which is just 1. There's a coordinate. 0 in the x direction, 1 in the y direction. Same thing with this. Negative square root of 1 over 2, negative 1/2. Square root of 3 over 2 cannot be simplified. Square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. This one can be simplified. That's going to be 1/2 right there. That's going to be negative 1 comma 0. That's going to be negative 1/2. You can't simplify this. This is going to be negative 1/2 in the x direction. And there's your coordinate for that one. It's going to be 0, negative 1. And this one's going to be root 1 over 2, which is going to be 1/2. And this is going to be negative root 3 over 2. You can't simplify that. You can simplify this. It's going to be just 1/2 in the y direction. Okay, that's it. Good luck. And if you have any questions, let me know.